Buenos dias, boys and girls. How is everybody today?
Good.
Sunday salutations, Methodists.
Hi, everyone. Long time no see. And when a fish says, long time no see, you can bet she hasn't been swimming in it lately.
Oh, as in the ocean. I get it. Speaking of it, let's get on with it today.
Well, what it is since we're having an all-church meeting after church, helping plan the future of this church, I thought we could talk about change.
Talk about it. We're living it.
Well then, let's get to the subject at hand. Change.
Change. Let's talk about it in terms of our different species. How do they each deal with change? So Barnabas, how do parrots, or how are parrots at dealing with change?
Well, I don't change my wardrobe that often. Actually, I've had the same hat on for 23 years. But speaking generally about parrots and change, it's no big deal. In the jungle, we tend to mix and match among different flocks, and we even get along with parakeets and cockatiels. So, how about camels?
Oh, camels. We're fine with change. Dry sand, wet sand, piled on sand, sand dunes, soft sand in the sunset. We deal with change well as long as it involves sand. So we got birds covered and camels covered. Tell us, Lippo, how do fish deal with change?
Well, actually, we fish don't deal with change very well. You've probably seen it on TV when we're threatened. Lots of us form into this great, big, moving baitball for defense, like that.
I'll show you.
He's got it. See? See, that's me in the middle. It works great for confusing predators, but for slow changes, not so much.
Like climate change.
Slow change, like climate change.
You're not kidding. We had one whole branch of the family that was doing that baitball thing for a whole year in response to a drought, while their entire home dried up. Now all that's left is a dry lake with a dust devil that blows through every once in a while. A sad reminder of what once was.
At least there's sand.
Well, so the implication of this little natural history lesson is that the United Methodist Church should be more like me. Or TP3, and less like Lippo. The moral is, don't be a big baitball.
Maybe we should leave the moral making to Jesus. Or at least bring Jesus into this.
Yes, you're right. Jesus is part of this. And just think back, Jesus and fish and the disciples. Speaking of change, unexpected change kind of defined the whole life of the disciples and the church. Think about at the beginning. There were the disciples to be in Capernaum on the Sea of Galilee, fishermen. And this guy walks up and says, "Stop fishing. Follow me."
I like that part, especially the stop fishing part.
And the man on the beach, it was Jesus, he said, "I want you to change your way of living and fish for people instead." And they did. And not only that, Jesus then changed the way they thought about God at work in the world. And what messiahship meant. And what death meant. But right after Jesus was crucified, for a time, the disciples did do that baitball thing. They went back home to Capernaum and resumed fishing again.
Not fishing again.
You know why? There's lots of sand in Capernaum.
And you know how this goes, don't you? It was almost an exact repetition of what had happened there when Jesus had first called them. 3 years before, except now he'd been crucified. This time, they were fishing. A man appeared on the beach and called to them. "Okay, keep fishing one last time," he said, "but try over there." And then the man, a risen man, called them in and fed them and sent them out. It was Jesus calling them to change the world, to transform it in his name.
And so he's saying to us today, it's time to stop fishing for good. No more bait balls. Instead, feed people. And keep feeding people. And no doubt you'll change the way you feed people and organize with people and administer the work. But you will make it work. And you will always have Jesus with you, he said.
And like so many people since have done, from John Wesley to Brother Van, to us folks in what used to be the Yellowstone Annual Conference, but then changed into the Mountain Sky Conference.
So, what's your fish sense telling you, Lippo?
It's telling me to stick with Jesus. It's telling me that this world is and should be a place of grace and immense delight. It's telling me that we must keep moving, even when it's hard to know what direction is the right one. But it's all easier if we follow the path that Jesus blazed and keeps blazing. Look, there he is. Let's keep following Jesus.
Lord, grant us courage and wisdom and faith to do so, and help us keep making disciples for the transformation of the world. And now, is this another great day to be going out there or what?
Quiet nights and quiet stars, quiet chords from my guitar, floating on the silence that surrounds us. Quiet thoughts and quiet dreams, quiet walks by quiet streams, climbing hills where lovers go to watch the world below. Together we will live eternally in this mood of revelry, far from all the earthly cares of